Jai Hind students. Now, in a previous class, we had studied about the power tussle between the Senate and army and amongst the different commanders. One thing is that the under this power becoming the influence and mighty, the commanders were much much involved in that. Now we know that the army of any country is supposed to be the pillar of strength of a nation, defense of the nation. So the army plays a very important role. And since the army was completely loyal to the commanders, loyal to the commanders of the Romans. Now amongst the commanders, we have seen in our previous class that Marius, Sullus, Crassus, Pompey, Julius Caesar, Mark Antony, and Augustus. They were the very important commander who played their role in the power tussle or in power grabbing. And now the first time we have seen that how the three commanders they wanted to be the stronger and controlling the Roman state under their influence and under their control. So now these commanders, particularly the three commanders, now they form a coalition together to grab the power amongst them. These, Julius Caesar was very much prominent, and Crassus, Julius Caesar, and Mark Antony. They were the very much strong commander of that time, and these commanders now form a coalitions amongst them. The first coalition was formed by these commanders was called as the triumvirate. First triumvirate. First triumvirate I have taught in previous class. You can see the first triumvirate, and triumvirate means that the power equally divided among the threes. Power equally triumvirates means the power equally divided amongst the three. So now we see that here they formed the coalition and jointly they now exerted and promoted the interest of the and they now jointly formed and grabbed the power. Over that, the violent conflict of the warlords contributed an period of collapse of the republic. And these commanders now by the violent involvement and the fight amongst them, finally they grabbed the power. Overlords fought together, and ultimately these coalitions are off. And moreover, Roman Senate tried to curb the power of the Pompey and the two other leading warlords. Two other warlords means Julius Caesar and the Crassus. The Senate was very powerful there. Senate was the now representation of the Republic of the Rome. So the Senate made the initiation, or mainly because army was, but the Senate became the very ineffective. Why? Because the Senate was not completely controlled. Senate could not control the army. So the army now was the decided on decisive factors for the power tussle. So the since the army was under the an army was loyal to the these commanders, so that's why in this power tussle now ultimately these army was under these warlords. So the tussle between Senate and the warlords resulted in a serious political crisis there. Serious because Senate was in expectation of that this army would now work on and fight on behalf of the Senate. But the Senate, this army now followed their commanders. So that's why ultimately now senates and warlords, Julius Caesar, these three heads, Pompey, Julius Caesar, and Crassus. They form a coalition, and this is the called as the triumvirate. Triumvirate means the power would be the equally divided. Power will amongst the three because they were the three, and this term denotes that ultimately powers uh, of the Rome, entire Roman Empire, centered in the hands of these three commanders. But unfortunately, Crassus, one of the members of this triumvirate, he now was just he got death and he was killed in the battle against the Mesopotamia. Understand? Or 53 BC, he just died. After that, the a jealousy or the rival, we can say a very sharp rivalry began and started between the Julius Caesar and Pompey. They were the now it, daggers drawn enemy started between them. And ultimately, these two now just came to decide their fates in the battle. And where that a battles was fought between the Pompey and the Julius Caesar, and ultimately Pompey got a crushing defeat in the battlefield, and as a result, in the year 47 BC, and then after 48 BC, then after 47 BC, the entire power now centered in the hands of the Julius Caesar and in the Rome. And this Julius Caesar, it was said that Julius Caesar wanted to become a dictator. Means he wanted to center the entire power to be vested in his hands. Wanted to Julius Caesar. So the other feudal groups and the other groups who were the now propounder and who were the upholder of the republican form of the government, now they challenged Julius Caesar. And Julius Caesar had to be the face and now attempt to become the absolute ruler. Julius Caesar, no doubt, he was attempting to become a stronger rulers. तो और the absolute ruler. Absolute ruler means क्या? What happens? उसका मतलब होता है कि entire power under to the hands of Julius Caesar. So in this, some of the historians now say that now conspiracy belongs to the into the faction. Aristocracy was the wanted to the prevent Julius Caesar. So the aristocratic group of the Rome wanted to check the Julius Caesar aspiration and ambition, high ambitions of taking the power in his hands. They wanted. So as a result, what happened? Now they hatched a conspiracy, or through that, when the Julius Caesar was now coming out of the Senate, now this group of the conspirators, now he stabbed them. Suddenly they attack on him, and multi times he was stabbed to death, Julius Caesar. And even those who were he deemed to be the very close to him, understand, they stabbed Julius Caesar because they had or amongst them the Brutus, one of the commander, he played the very important role, and he gave the justifications that I am doing so because to protect the republican governments in the state, Roman state. Republic was now being destroyed by the Julius Caesar. That's why I have done so. Understand? So now Brutus, who was the just who played a very important role and the vital role in this conspiracy. So we see that it is a, and after the this now the monarchy ultimately converted to the republic to the monarchy. This in the difficult conditions, in these difficult conditions, again there was a anarchy of the system. Now again, but still the Julius Caesar had a lots of supporters there, although he was assassinated, but the lots of supporters now backed him. And amongst those supporters were the Julius Caesar's supporters and his groups, amongst them Mark Antony, Lepidus, and the Julius Caesar's one of the cousin Octavian Caesar. Octavian Caesar or uh, or Lepidus and Mark Antony. Now these three again the form the for the three is now inspired for the again grabbing and retaining the monarchical system, retaining the emperor, retaining the emperor's positions. So that's why they now these three again has the conspiracy. These three again has to a conspiracy. So they now started the forming a coalitions. They come closer to come closer, and second triumvirate they form, or this second triumvirates again come into the power and grab the power from the Republicans. And the Octavians generally Mark Antony became a complete master of the empire. The three became the complete master of the empire. Very soon, now in the very soon, but one of the member just died. One of the member Lepidus. Unfortunately, he met the death, and now he was the Lepidus was compelled to retire from the triumvirs, and Mark was the Octavian completely master of the empire. Although this one thing is that Lepidus, he was one of the members, but he was forcibly, just forcibly he had to leave the triumvirates. Understand? And the two, the Mark Antony and the Octavian Caesar, they became the arch rival for getting the power. Second, you can say that the second triumvirate became the again now became the again became the arena of the conflicts for the power. So as a result, now ultimately Mark Antony was defeated in 27 BC. And where what happens? The Mark Antony and the entire powers now came under Octavian, or ultimately came in the hands of came the in the hands of the Octavian Caesar, or again the Octavian Caesar now overthrew the republic. Now his now republic power was undermined. Republic, and not completely. He could not do so. Why? Because it was the very strong and deep traditions of the Romans to having the republican institutions. So that's why, although its power, it was made the powerless and actual power, he practiced the actual and practical power in his hands, and he concentrated all authority in his hands, no doubt, and moreover became the supreme ruler of the Rome, assuming the title of the Augustus. Now he now himself not assumed. Later on, this title was given by the Senate, because he did not abolish the senatorial, a Senate institution. He did not abolish that. And the more two mighty empires of the Rome, and moreover, we have to see in the eastern part of the Rome, there were the two mighty Rome rulers. One in the eastern border of the Roman Empire, we can see that in the Iranians, the Persian Empire was very vital, and it was Persian Empire on the outer front, on the borders. Persians were the and the Persians and Romans had a, they were the as the rival for the power expansion, their border expansion, and more North Africa, and we know that the most of the Europe was under the rule over the most of the Europe. Now Roman and the Iranians had controlled the most of the part of the you can say the Africa, Central Asia, and Europe. Europe, this entire on the map you can see that these all parts were the completely controlled by the these two power centers, and over the most of Europe, North Africa or Middle East, we can say, and by the 7th century up to the down to the 630s, both empires lay next to each other since their boundary was adjacent. दोनों की बाउंड्री जो थी बिल्कुल सटी हुई थी, इसलिए स्वाभाविक था ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट से राइज होना. और ए नैरो स्ट्रिप लैंड नाउ जस्ट डिमार्किंग the Euphrates, river of the Euphrates. It separated the each others. जो यूफ्रेट्स की जो लैंड स्ट्रिप था यूफ्रेट्स के along, वो लैंड स्ट्रिप से दोनों की बाउंड्री थी, दोनों वास्ट एम्पायर्स की. इट वाज द बाउंड्री ऑफ दैट एंड द प्रेजेंट नाउ focus on the Roman where we shall see that it is the now world Chinese used to call the Tachins. They are greater roughly and divided between themselves the Rome and Iran. और चाइनीज भी में भी ये चाइनीज सोर्सेस में भी ये मेंशन है कि दोनों जो वास्ट वेस्ट में जो वास्ट एम्पायर है, जो वेस्ट की जो जितनी लैंड्स हैं एम्पायर्स, वो दो पावर्स में डिवाइड है. एंड द टू सुपर पावर्स आर देयर. द पावर सेंटर्स, दो सुपर पावर एग्जिस्ट इन ड्यूरिंग दोज टाइम्स. एंड द मेडिटेरियन सी स्ट्रेचिंग ऑल द वे स्पेन, मेडिटेरियन सी है स्पेन से अगर देखा जाए टू इन द वेस्ट एंड सीरिया इन द ईस्ट. अगर आप इफ मस्ट हैव टू बी द लुक एट द मैप, आप मैप देख सकते हैं. मैप में आप देखेंगे कि वेस्टर्न अगर देखा जाए मेटेरियंस स्पेन से राइट फ्रॉम स्पेन टू द इन द ईस्ट में अप टू द सीरिया, एंड मोर ओवर सेपरेट द कॉन्टिनेंट ऑफ यूरोप. ये यूरोप कॉन्टिनेंट को एंड अफ्रीका कॉन्टिनेंट को डिवाइड करती है ये मेटेरियन सी. आप देखें मैप में तो स्पेन का अगर वेस्टर्न देखिए नॉर्थ ये साउथ स्पेन आप देखें, वहां से राइट फ्रॉम देयर इधर आप सीरिया तक जाइए तो ये दिस ईस्टर्न और वेस्टर्न poles of the Mediterranean now divides the African continent or European continents. And moreover, the Mediterranean was called the heart of Roman Empire. और ये Mediterranean जो इलाका था, एरिया था, this is the called the heart, and the Mediterranean all regions around see both the directions, all around Mediterranean and all the regions around that see in the both directions, north as well as south. Romans dominated the two great rivers, Rhine और Danube. आप मैप में देखो राइन रिवर्स है जो फ्रांस का इलाका है, राइन रिवर्स, और इधर डैन्यूब देखिए जर्मनी. Understand that these two rivers was the northern extents of the extents of the Roman Empire. आप देखिए मैप में, you must see northern extents in the Roman Empire, and then after form the boundary of empire to the north. ये northern boundary था Danube rivers and Rhine rivers. These two forms the northern extent of the, and moreover the huge expanse of the desert of Sahara, we can say Sahara deserts form its boundary to the south. अगर आप इधर अफ्रीका में आए तो जो सहारा डेजर्ट है ये इसका बाउंड्री था, क्योंकि आई हैव ऑलरेडी मेंशन दैट northern Africa was under the control of the Roman Empire. So we can see that Sahara deserts here, and moreover, and boundaries. The empire of Iran was also stretched to the vast area. Iran vast area में Persia का भी, it dominated the whole area south of the Caspian Sea down to the Eastern Arabia. अगर ईरान का देखा जाए एक्सपेंशन, हम ईरान के बारे में बात करें तो कैस्पियन सी से साउथ में अगर आइए, कम टू कैप्सियन सी देखिए आप मैप में, सी कैप्सियन सी राइट फ्रॉम कैप्सियन टू द सदर्न ईस्टर्न और ईस्टर्न अरब से, ईस्टर्न अरब जो है एम्पायर, अरब का जो मैप में आप देखेंगे अरब से लेकर एंड द सम टाइम्स आल्सो large part of the Afghanistan was under their control. Moreover, the growth of Roman empires कैन बी डिवाइडेड इन टू पार्ट्स। अर्ली फेज में हम इसको इसका ग्रोथ जो है, जो डेवलपमेंट हुआ एक पावर सेंटर के फॉर्म में रोमन एम्पायर, इसके टू फेज में जनरली इसको डिवाइड किया जाता है। फर्स्ट द अर्ली फेज को और लेट फेज, whole period down to the main part of the third century is generally placed under the early empire में उसको रखा जाता है। और in this way अगर हम देखें, अब लेट्स सी कम टू द अर्ली एंड नाउ हियर द फ्रॉम द कल्चरल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अगर हम कंपैरिजन करें कल्चरल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से रोमन एम्पायर्स का एज वेल एज द ईरानियन पर्शियन से ईरानियन एम्पायर्स का, तो ईरान वाज रूल्ड रोमन रोमन नो डाउट many parts and the state and territories were under the Roman Empire. So that's why Roman was a diverse. It was the now patch of the diverse culture. Its vast empire was the patch of a diverse culture. And now other hands, the Persia. What about the Persia? We can say Iran was ruled by the Parthian and later Sasanian dynasties. And now, on the contrary, Romans empires को कहा जाए कि it's a territory was mosaic of or the different cultures, mosaic of and bound together mainly by the common system of the government. Or it was the mosaic. मैंने कहा कि it was the patch and mosaic of the different cultures. And only one thing now just made this vast empire integrated. That was the political system of the empire. That was the political system. So now further we can see that here several languages were spoken in the Roman Empire. Roman Empire में बहुत सी भाषाएं बोली जाती थी since the different regions, different languages, it was natural. So that's, but amongst that different languages, we can see that the two languages were dominating in the vast Roman Empire. In the Eastern Roman Empire, Greek language was not dominating, and the Western Roman Empire में अगर देखा जाए तो it was dominating, the Latin language was the two language and mostly और उनकी ये ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज थी, जो जितने ऑफिशियल कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंस होते थे ऑफिशियल, it is officials correspondence were done through the done by this language. And moreover, or republic, this different parts of the empire speaking different languages, all or they were under the subjugation and control of the one ruler. Moreover, here the princeps and the senate, one thing is that students, now senate was very dominant institution. वहाँ की जो इंस्टीट्यूशन से सीनेट वो डोमिनेंट थी कि राजा एम्पेरर्स अपने आप को वहाँ के जो किंग्स थे या जो कमांडर्स जो पावर ग्रैब किया उन्होंने, जैसे मान लीजिए कि अभी किसने ग्रैब किया सेकंड ट्रायम्विरेट्स के बाद फाइनली एंटोनियन को डिफीट कर देकर, वो ऑक्टेवियन सीजर ने। ये ऑक्टेवियन सीजर पावरफुल तो हो गया, सारा एक्चुअल पावर, क्योंकि पावर किसके हैंड्स में होता है, जिसके हाथ में आर्मी होती है देश की, कंट्री की जो आर्मी होती है, वहां के ब्यूरोक्रेट्स होते हैं, उसके साथ पावर उसी के हाथ में। अंडरस्टैंड? तो ये उसके हैंड्स में आर्मी थी, स्ट्रॉन्ग आर्मी, और ब्यूरोक्रेट्स थे बहुत से। तो इसलिए ये ऑक्टेवियंस ने क्या किया कि ये ही वांटेड टू बिकम द एम्परर, बट ही कुड नॉट डू, वैसा नहीं कर सकता था। क्यों? बिकॉज वो जानता था कि रोमन ये जो सीनेट है, दिस इज द ट्रेडिशंस ऑफ द पीपुल ऑफ द ट्रेडिशनल से एक इंस्टीट्यूशन है जिसे बिल्कुल डिमोलिश्ड नहीं किया जा सकता या डिस्ट्रॉयड एरिया, इसे एबोलिश नहीं किया जा सकता। तो ही हैड द फियर एंड मोर ओवर नाउ he was hesitantly, he was not a he could not declare himself the emperor, वो राजा नहीं बन सकता था, एम्पेरर सम्राट नहीं, पावरफुल तो था लेकिन राजा नहीं बन, बिकॉज ही कुड नॉट डिस्ट्रॉय द रिपब्लिकन, और वहां पे मोनार्की सिस्टम वो नहीं डेवलप है, मोनार्की सिस्टम एस्टेब्लिश्ड भी नहीं कर सकता। अंडरस्टैंड? तो नाउ ही जस्ट स्टार्टेड, ही नाउ फाइंड आउट, he found out a way, middle way. He now chalk out a plan for becoming the powerful and as well to respect the Senate. Senate भी exist करेगी और वो भी एक powerful emperor, not called as the emperor, but emperor की तरह वो रहेगा. Entire powers will be in his hands. So now ये middle way उसने निकाला और he remained engaged in the struggle. Although there were so many of the opponents and for uh, for decades he had to suppress them. Decade times consumed to suppress the ugly faces where the and the voices were against him. Moreover, in keeping in view of the Republican past of the Rome, what he did now, therefore he did not take the title of the emperor. वो कभी emperor का उसने क्या title लिया? वो title लिया princeps. Now the he emperor called himself as a princeps, the first and foremost citizen. Princeps उसने अपने आप को कहा. तो princeps का meaning होता है first and foremost citizen. First and foremost citizen. So he did not assume and titled himself as an emperor. No. So escaping that revolt and the respect, he had to be. He now followed the middle way. Now the power should be retained with him, and as well as Senate should be exist to avoid the revolution. एक क्रांति हो जाती है वहां पे, इसलिए इसने दोनों एक है कि हम रेस्पेक्ट भी करते हैं और हम पावरफुल भी अंडरस्टैंड. तो उसने अपने आप को प्रिंसेप्स कहा, मतलब फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट सिटीजन ऑफ द रोम, Octavian Caesar. Or moreover, the he aristocracy and the army were the main components of the players in political history. मैंने कहा कि जो aristocrats यानी aristocrats थे, यानी जो bureaucrats थे, royal, और इसके along with that the army, the two were the main game changer in the politics. ये दोनों ही पॉलिटिक्स के गेम चेंजर थे और दोनों बोथ नाउ वेयर सपोर्टिंग, इसे दोनों सपोर्ट्स. Now here we can see that here and he retained the most political institution of the republic in order to, ये चाहता था कि जो most रिमार्केबल या जो पॉलिटिकल इंस्टीट्यूशन था रिपब्लिक है वो रेसिस्ट था, इसलिए फॉर दैट रीजंस ही so he tried and uh, to satisfy the senators, सीनेट के जो मेंबर्स होते थे, एंड the now designations of the most of the public officials were remained intact. उसने जो भी डिजिग्नेशंस चेंज नहीं किया किसी भी पब्लिक ऑफिशियल्स का, और अपॉइंटेड द सपोर्टर्स इम्पोर्टेंट, और इसके साथ साथ अपनी स्ट्रेंथ को और जो डिससेटिस्फाइड हो सकते थे तो उनके डिजिग्नेशंस को इंटैक्ट छोड़ दिया. एंड जो अपनी स्ट्रेंथ को और सपोर्ट करने के लिए सिस्टम में क्या किया उसने, सिस्टम ही अपॉइंटेड हिज ओन, अपने लोगों को उसने अपॉइंट्स किया, दोज हु विल सपोर्ट इन द टाइम ऑफ क्राइसिस. जो कभी भी अगर पॉलिटिकल क्राइसिस आएगी तो उसका एक स्ट्रॉन्ग ब्लाइंड सपोर्ट करेंगे. तो नाउ ही नाउ टुक एंड प्लेड द टू गेम्स फॉर दैट. एंड मोर ओवर all the important posts इसने, senate was body representative, we know that aristocracy but later wealthy and landowners of Italian, ये aristocracy body थी senate, लेकिन later on इस senate में जो members होने लगे land owners से of the Italian descents were also included in it. land owners भी इसमें आने लगे जो Italian descendants थे. Generally emperors behave decently towards the senate, और ये आप जानते ही हैं कि सीनेट की तरफ था वो डिसेंट भी है. he didn't want to invite the senate क्योंकि इसे रिटेन करना था पावर में, और दैट इज व्हाई एम्पेयर्स बिहेव डिसेंटली एंड वेयर जस्ट. और वहाँ पे एक ट्रेडिशन था कि दोस किंग एंड या कमांडर्स who judged who were judged by the behave they did towards the senate. सीनेट से जिसकी व्यवहार या बिहेव अच्छा होता था, गुड होता था, वो वहाँ का गुड पावरफुल कमांडर्स या किंग, आप मानिए इनडायरेक्ट किंग जो होते थे वो नाउ ही वाज सपोज्ड टू बी गुड, यानी कि सीनेट से कि वहाँ की परंपरा थी, लोग बहुत प्रीफर सीनेट्स को करते थे, सीनेट को रेस्पेक्ट देना वो उसे गुड मानते थे। एंड ऑक्टेवियन वाज डेकोरेटेड विद द टाइटल अल्टीमेटली 27 बीसी में ऑक्टेवियंस को क्या किया गया, दिस मैन वाज ऑक्टेवियन वाज डेकोरेटेड विद द टाइटल ऑफ ऑगस्ट, उससे ऑगस्टस की टाइटल दी गई। एंड नाउ और नेम सेक फॉर द रिपब्लिक, अल्टीमेटली ड्यूरिंग हिज रेन रिपब्लिक इंस्टीट्यूशंस एग्जिस्टेड ओनली फॉर नेम। हालांकि मैंने कहा कि सिंस द इंटायर पावर ट्रांसफर इन हैंड्स, इसके पास पावर थी, और जो रिपब्लिकन इंस्टीट्यूशंस थे, जो स्ट्रक्चर हम कह सकते हैं, वो ये नेम सेक के लिए पावरफुल नहीं थे, एक्चुअल पावर यही एक्सरसाइज करता था। एंड नाउ पावर्स वेस्टेड इन द एम्पायरर्स हैंड्स। और अगर देखा जाए ऑगस्टस एंड द रोम स्टेट अपीयर्स ऑफ द रिपब्लिक, बट बाय द टाइम दिस नाउ हिज डेथ, ये इसके टाइम तक एज लॉन्ग एज ही लिव्ड, तो वहाँ पे रिपब्लिकन स्ट्रक्चर नाउ इट वाज सीन, इस जो रिपब्लिकन स्ट्रक्चर था वो देखा गया, इंटैक्ट दिखाई विजिबल था, सिस्टम में वो विजिबल था। लेकिन इसके डेथ के बाद जनरली धीरे धीरे ग्रेजुअली वो क्या करने होने लगा, वो डिटोरिएट करने लगा, और अल्टीमेटली इन हैंड एंड अदर फीचर्स ऑफ रिपब्लिक बिकम द वर्थलेस। प्रोसेस ऑफ ट्रांजिशन फ्रॉम रिपब्लिक टू मोनार्क, ये प्रोसेस चलता रहा उसके डेथ के बाद भी, जो भी कमिंग रूलर्स आते थे, अंडरस्टैंड, तो उन्होंने क्या किया कि इस रिपब्लिकन सिस्टम को या स्ट्रक्चर को उन्होंने और वीकेंड किया, वो ईकर करते चले गए बाय दैट। एंड सक्सेसर लॉन्ग टाइम मेंटेन द फिक्शंस ऑफ द, हालांकि उसके सक्सेसर फिक्शन ऑफ द रिपब्लिकन मेंटेन किया गया, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली ऑथोरिटी, द ऑथोरिटी ऑफ द emperor in theory was not derived from the any divine rights of the rule, और जो अथॉरिटी था वो डिवाइन रूल्स नहीं था, जैसे हर राजा आप जानते हैं किंगडम्स, जो मेडिवल किंगडम्स जितने भी हैं चाहे एंशिएंट में, माने थे they were supposed to be the that they are the representative of the god on this earth, डिवाइन थ्योरी वो माना जाता था। लेकिन एक्चुअली जो रोमन्स किंग्स थे या एम्पेयर, दे डिड नॉट क्लेम themselves to be the divine king, to be the kings, association with the kings and the divinity, divine and the god, no, उन्होंने ऐसा अपने आप को नहीं कहा, they never declared themselves। and furthermore, theory was not derived from the divine rights, it was based on the consent of the citizen। जो राजा वहाँ का एम्पेयर था या जैसे नॉमिनल एम्पेयर, he was called as the concept was that he was a republican citizen, he was by the consent of the citizen, he was not hereditary, and by the consent of citizen he retained the power there, not by the divinity, not by the hereditary authority ki power comes naturally after the death of the, no, like that, he never claimed that। and rule was the embodiment of the republic, और रूलर जो था वहाँ का वो रिपब्लिक का embodiment, it was a belief in, or now he recognized the senate and army gave the stamp of legitimacy to the emperor and made his rule relatively stable, और इसको उसने लेजिटिमेट बनाया और अपने रूल को उसने स्टेबल बनाया, फॉर ए लास्टिंग बनाया। और ऑगस्टस सीनेटोरियल्स ओलिगार्की, इसलिए हम देखते हैं कि द एम्पेरर ऑगस्टस, द सीनेटोरियल ओलिगार्की थी, सीनेटोरियल ओलिगार्की, ओलिगार्की मीन्स क्या होता है कि द रूल बाय द रिच, यहाँ पे रिच पीपुल, वेल टू डू पीपुल अगर रूल करते हैं करेक्टली, रिच पीपुल, तो उसको ओलिगार्की सिस्टम कहा जाता है, अमीरों का शासन जिसको कह सकते हैं। तो यहाँ पे ओलिगार्की थी, एम्पेरर था, ओलिगार्की सिस्टम, और प्लेबियंस एलिट्स एंड द आर्मी वेयर द थ्री मेन कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ द एरिस्टोक्रेसी, एम्पेरर, एरिस्टोक्रेसी और द सीनेट, ये स्ट्रक्चर वहाँ पे पावर स्ट्रक्चर था वहां का, दैट इज देयर। अब यहाँ पे हम लोग कॉन्सेंट्रेट होंगे आर्मी, आर्मी के बारे में भी कुछ जानना जरूरी है। और नाउ one points army. The importance was that army was important component of the ruling class, and here unlike the conscripted और परसा में यहाँ पे एक one term I am going to explain, conscripted, the army personnel, if the army personnel are forcibly appointed, तो ऐसे आर्मी को सच आर्मी इज कॉल्ड, ऐसे आर्मी को हम क्या कहते हैं कि सच काइंड ऑफ द आर्मी इज कॉल्ड एज द कॉन्स्क्रिप्टेड आर्मी। कॉन्स्क्रिप्टेड फोर्सफुली अपॉइंट करना। लेकिन यहाँ पे हियर देयर वाज नो सो इन द रोमन एम्पायर आर्मी वाज वेरी प्रोफेशनल एंड रोमन्स हैड द प्रोफेशनल एवरी सोल्जर्स वाज पेड फॉर हिज वर्क। ये बहुत एक यूनिक सिस्टम था कि पेड कैश, कैश पेमेंट ऐसा सिस्टम कहीं नहीं था, or it was a very modern system. Caste system army was given, and or every appointment was happened, and it was done for that like 25 years. They had to be the make their service in the army, and the ones make existence army एशियन टाइम्स सैलियन फीचर्स था रोमन एम्पायर का। और लगभग टोटल इनकी स्ट्रेंथ बताया जाता है कि 4th सेंचुरी तक इनकी स्ट्रेंथ 6 लाख आर्मी था, रोमन आर्मी। एंड मोर ओवर this mighty army could determine the fate of the emperors, और emperors का जो fate था that was the dependent on the strong army, and moreover constantly agitated for the better wages। कभी कभी ऐसा भी देखा गया रोमा कि now occasionally कभी कभी by sometimes they raise their voice against voice for the raising the high wages के लिए, and condition discontentment amongst the soldiers was generals and the against their general। कभी कभी ये उनका विद्रोह होता था या म्यूटिनी जो करते थे वो जनरल्स के अगेंस्ट में या इंपेरर के अगेंस्ट में। एंड मोर ओवर और we see that army often proved to be the source of unpredictable violence also। कभी कभी वायलेंस भी आर्मी कर देती थी अनप्रिडिक्टेबल, जो all of sudden without any expectation or any precision ये अचानक ये विद्रोह कर देते थे। एंड मोर ओवर एंड सीनेट फ्यूअर द आर्मी, और सीनेट के लिए बहुत डर थी क्योंकि आर्मी ही डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर्स थी कि पावरफुल कौन इंस्टीट्यूशन रहेगा, किंग रहेगा या आर्मी खुद रहेगी, वेदर या वेदर द सीनेट रहेगा। तो दैट वाज द डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर। तो सीनेट वाज बिकॉज दिस कंडीशन 3rd century government was now compelled to levy heavy tax in order to meet the heavy expenditure of the army। और इस आर्मी के ह्यूज और वास्ट आर्मी मेंटेन करने के लिए फॉर द गवर्नमेंट हैड टू बी द ये हैड टू लेवी द टैक्स, इम्पोज द टैक्स अपॉन द कॉमन मैन्स। द ह्यूज टैक्स का पार्ट जो है गवर्नमेंट्स का इनकम का दैट वाज मेड एक्सपेंडिचर्स ऑन दैट। ओके, तो दिस इज द आर्मी। और मोर ओवर सक्सेस फेल्यूर ऑफ इंपेयर, मैंने पहले भी कहा इट डिपेंडेंट ऑन द आर्मी। कभी कभी सम टाइम डिवीजन ऑफ आर्मी रिजल्टेड इन सिविल वॉर में भी ये होता था, इन्वॉल्व हो जाते थे। एंड मोर ओवर फर्स्ट 2 centuries वेयर द free from civil war except the during the 69 AD। Family descents as possibles based on succession of the throne, और सक्सेशन का थ्रोन सक्सेशन जो था दैट वाज द बेस्ट सक्सेशन टू द थ्रोन, फैमिली पे ये डिपेंड था। एंड सन सक्सीडेड हिज फादर आप सक्सेशन जानते हैं, सन सक्सीडेड हिज फादर एंड द आर्मी टू रिकॉग्नाइज दिस प्रिंसिपल, और इस प्रिंसिपल्स को आर्मी क्योंकि वो दे आर द लॉयल टू द पर्टिकुलर family and particular person and their sons and their generations। So that is why for Augustus क्या था was succeeded by his adopted son Tiberius। Okay, boys, students next next part में इसको आगे बढ़ाएंगे। Thank you very much।